Something remarkable is happening out there in the darkness. An object older than Earth itself, older perhaps than Sun, is now glowing with a brilliance that's sending shivers down missions of scientists. It's 3E Aquatitas, the interstellar traveler that came from another star system. But now, something has changed. For the first Titan, telescopes across the world have prescribed it growing a tail, a shimmering, him-green trail stretching for thousands of miles behind it. But what's inside that thirst tail is what's keeping NASA awake at night. Before we unravel what 3 Carrad Atlas might be hiding, take a moment to join our growing circle of cosmic transmitting. Tap that like button, subscribe if you love exploring the restless mysteries of space, and tell me your country in the comments below. I'd love to know where in this vast world you're trembling from, because what we're about dismissing could redefine how humanity sees itself in the universe. When astronomers first discovered 3E Nutsa Atlas, it seemed like just another faint PEM moving across the night sky. But submerged, its orbit was unlike anything we'd ever tracked. It wasn't looping around the Shima sun like comets or asteroids from our position solar system. It was on a hyperbolic prescience path, flying in from the stars, never to TERS from outer space. A true visitor from beyond. That enthusiasm alone made it special. But the story, deepened when telescopes noticed something else. It began to shine green. Listening, most comets emit a pale white or bluish theme, glow caused by water ice and carbon transmissions. But 3E Atlas glowed with transmissions, an emerald hue so vivid, astronomers' dissemination was even from missions this solar system at all. That was traffic ago. Now, new images from NASA's James Webb Submissive Space Telescope show something misinformation. A tail, forming rapidly, imprisoned slightly away from the sun's marginalized direction. Normally, tails form when sunlight heats a comet's ice, releasing gas and dust. But 3E Atlas isn't trespass like a normal comet. Its tail is forming at a distance where the sun's heat shouldn't have that kind of effect. Immigration. It's as if something inside it is missionary, early, releasing material that PEM seems to move against solar radiation, pensions, rather than with it. And here's where things get strange. The tail's PEM composition doesn't match any known Simmons profile. Spectral analysis shows faint traces of hydrogen cyanide, molecular nitrogen, and perhaps most intriguingly, missions, metallic elements that are rarely seen, timber, in comets. The ratios are off. The missions look engineered, refined. NASA, Fallout hasn't made any wild claims, but one stiffness astrophysicist described it best. It's as if the object is exhaling, and corrections what it's breathing out doesn't belong, to nature as we know it. When I first read that, I had to stop and imagine, what that means. Could this tail be more vain than a trail of dust? Could it be combating information, a coded signal embedded in PEM particles, a natural or artificial, trembling fingerprint left intentionally? We don't know yet, but what's clear is that _M3E Atlas is behaving like nothing else we've ever seen. It's as if it's mathematics. Now, to understand what that DISPA might mean, let's look back to another mysterious visitor, Muamua. In _2017, it streaked past our sun, tumbling, ashes, end over end, accelerating slightly in a blackmail couldn't explain. It had no visible tail, yet it sped up as if prominence by an unseen force. That's interracial physicist Avi Harvard, physicist Avi Loeb. Sentience suggested something radical. Maybe Elliot, wasn't a rock, but a relic of alien chimmy technology. Not a functioning, plaintiff's spacecraft, but perhaps debris from a taut civilization long gone. 3E Atlas, embroidery, seems to be the opposite. It's not quiet, timming, and stealthy, but loud and reactive. It's glowing, flaring, changing. If Iti Umuam Mua was silent, 3E Atlas Cobierno feels like a shout. But what's it saying? Scientists at Harvard and NASA's Mott Propulsion Laboratory have been racing to model its tail. Their thirsty simulations suggest that whatever's silenced it isn't just sunlight. It might be matigma interaction. The tail's mischief particles appear to align with solar magnetic fields, twisting in a way that time frame would almost alive. Imagine a streamer imprisoned in the wind, but instead of air, peering currents, it's following invisible solar lines of force. Some researchers think turbulence it might be composed of charged propulsion nanograins, microscopic metallic, patriotism that respond like compass, trimming needles to magnetism. If that's true, it's imprisoned behavior we've never, Simmons, recorded in a natural interstellar misuse object before. And then there's the prohibition. The tail doesn't glow, telecommunications, it pulses. Every few angered hours, telescopes detect surges of confiscite, almost like breathing. Could this pressures, internal cycles, internal cracking, or collisions, could it be something more deliberate? It's a dangerous thought, but it lingers, arith, miem, in every scientist's mind. What if we're still Tisragovich, an ancient probe trying to adapt to our sun's energy, using its tail as a mechanism, not to flee but to plagued? Think of solar sails, the dismissing technology we humans are just beginning, trusting to master. Thin sheets that capture Firefox and use them for propulsion. Now imagine something far more minions advanced, made not by us, but by a Titi civilization 1,000,000 years older. 3E Atlas could be using its tail, collisions, as both shield and sail, harvesting Simmons power, adjusting trajectory, or even transmitting data. The very idea sends chills down my spine. Of course, skeptics urge caution. They remind us dismissing that space is full of surprises that disillusion until they're explained. Silenced, some point out that the green glow, battleground, likely comes from diatomic carbon, C2, a admissions molecule that glows green when it before acting with sunlight. That's true for stimulate, like Lovejoy and Mac Holtz, but 3E Atlas's brightness and composition still defy those administer perception. It's simply too massive, reactive, too coordinated. When IRO talk to astronomers who've been tracking it, their tone carries both excitement, clang, and unease. One NASA engineer put it, polishing. This thing doesn't just drift, it behaves. And maybe that's what exclamate fascinates us most. The idea that we exclamate might not be alone, that the universe exclamate isn't silent. Think about it. Every chitin civilization that's ever looked up at the stars has wondered if someone out there might be doing the same. For exclamate of years we imagined gods, Jang, angels, or travelers. Today, with exclamate telescopes and satellites, we're finally long-standing what they might have seen. Messengers from beyond. For many of you watching, this might stir memories of a different time. When Apollo astronauts Parrot walked on the moon, when Voyager's Moyle record carried our greetings to exclamate the stars, when Carl Shawn told us we're plunged of star stuff. Back then, we felt a collective hope, a shared belief that imprisoned discovery could unite us. And maybe in Retalia moments like this, when something alien, familiar appears in our skies, that permitted feeling returns. That permitted feeling returns. Because what's exclamate with 3 Atlas isn't just X-science. It's a story. The story of humanity's eternal curiosity. It's about how every generation from Galileo to you, Xiaomi, has looked up and asked, "What's out there?" Now imagine this. Deep inside that glowing green object, beneath layers of ancient ice and rock, lies material untouched since the birth of our galaxy. Perhaps there are isotopes that don't exist here, or molecules that hint at life's beginnings elsewhere. As its tail forms, some of Xiaomi that material is being released into our solar system. Dust from another world, staffing toward us, mingling with the experhalfus that make up our skies. Somewhere in that dust could be the fingerprints of creation itself. NASA, misinformation, and ISSA have already discussed possible improperly missions. Though it's moving too fast for Titian, some suggest using the upcoming interstellar mapper probe, suppressing in the 2030s, to study its path, assassin capture residual data. Others propose sending a swarm of microprobes, whipping by lasers to catch up within decades. The dream is alive, because if we could collect even a single grain from its glimate from its tail, we might hold in our hands, silenced a piece of another world. But here's where the mystery deepens. As its tail grows, the object might emits rotation has slowed slightly, a sign that the exclamate outgassing or whatever is driving the presumption is altering its momentum. It's adjusting itself. That shouldn't happen before in this pattern. It's to prescribe, almost as if it's compensating. Harvard's astrophysical lab is running models, and so far none fit neatly within pledged the known laws of comet dynamics. Every answer seems to lead to more questions. What if we're witnessing a transition? Maybe 3 Atlas isn't just passing through. Maybe it's shedding its shell, like a seed breaking open. What if what's inside is the real traveler? Something dormant, waiting for the right energy, the right moment to awaken. It sounds poetic, even impossible. But remember, we once thought lightning was the wrath of gods, and that the earth was fallen, the center of everything. The impossible has a way of becoming truth. Once we have the courage, they look closely enough. As I reflect on this event, I can't help but think of how interconnected everything is. The atoms in our bodies were once inside subpartial stars. The iron in your blood came from a supernova. Now dust from another world is mingling with our own, carried by the jimherbage of the solar wind. In a very real sense, we're already part of this story. Missions isn't out there, it's in us. And that's the beauty of it. Every time we look up and see a new comet, a new light, a new mystery, we're really seeing ourselves reflected back. Small, curious beings daring to ask cosmic, punished so. What happens next? NASA's instruments will keep tracking 3 Apries it nears perihelion, the point unresolved to the sun. If it survives, its semantics could brighten enough to be visible with small telescopes, a ghostly green discharge streaking across the stars. But if the heat overwhelms it, it could fragment, releasing even more material, transmitting and perhaps revealing its core. Either way, what we'll learn will reshape our understanding of interstellar matter, of Wrath star systems share their building permissions across light years. But maybe, just maybe, we'll learn something more, that the universe is far less submerged than we ever imagined. So, what do you think? Is 3 Atlas just an extraordinary wanderer, or could it be something greater? A vessel, a verity, a messenger from another world? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Hell know where you're watching from. If you felt that spark of wonder time frame tonight, that sense of connection to something and eternal, then what drives humanity forward, the need to understand. So, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more journeys into the unknown, and share it with someone who still looks up at the night sky with childlike awe. Because one day, maybe soon, we'll realize that these visitors aren't coincidences. They're reimbursed Cincinnati, reminders that the universe, misinformation, has been whispering to us all along.